Welcome to today's discussion. We're diving into a fascinating report, South Africa Economic Outlook, Fragile Paths to 2026, Exploring the Nation's Economic Future. It's a complex picture, isn't it?
Absolutely. South Africa possesses immense potential but faces significant challenges that could derail its progress.
The report highlights both the upside and downside scenarios. What are some of the key factors driving this uncertainty?
Primarily, it's a confluence of global and domestic issues. Global inflation, energy prices, and geopolitical tensions all play a role, alongside internal challenges like government debt and policy debates.
So it's not just one thing, but a perfect storm of factors. Let's start with the positive. The report mentions South Africa's vast reserves of platinum and other critical minerals. How significant is this resource advantage?
It's enormous. South Africa holds roughly 80% of the world's platinum, a crucial element in green technologies like hydrogen fuel cells. This positions them ideally to benefit from the global shift towards renewable energy. However, simply possessing the resources isn't enough. Effective resource management and value addition are critical.
Beyond natural resources, what other strengths does South Africa possess?
Their private sector is surprisingly dynamic, particularly in fintech and agriculture. The fintech sector is remarkably advanced, with mobile payments and online banking well established. This innovation, coupled with expanding internet access through initiatives like Starlink, offers significant growth potential.
The expansion of internet access, especially in rural areas, sounds transformative. How will this impact the economy?
It's a game changer. Improved connectivity levels the playing field, fostering education, entrepreneurship, and economic activity in previously underserved regions. It's about unlocking potential beyond the urban centers.
Now let's address the elephant in the room, inflation. How severely is it impacting South Africa?
Inflation is a major headwind. Rising global food and energy prices, coupled with a weakening rand, are driving up the cost of living and imported goods. This puts a strain on consumers and businesses alike.
And how does this relate to the government's debt burden?
The high debt-to-GDP ratio, around 70%, is a serious concern. A significant portion of government spending is now allocated to interest payments, leaving less for crucial investments in infrastructure, education, and social programs. This creates a vicious cycle, hindering economic growth.
The report mentions BRICS membership. Has this alliance yielded the expected economic benefits?
While BRICS offers potential, the benefits haven't materialized as significantly as hoped. Much of the investment from countries like China has focused on extractive industries, which doesn't always translate into broad-based economic growth. It's about attracting the right kind of investment, not just any investment.
The report also touches upon the geopolitical tightrope South Africa walks. How is this impacting their economic prospects?
Balancing relations with the West and countries like Russia is challenging. Strained relationships with Western trading partners, or largest market, pose a risk to their trade and access to crucial markets.
Domestically, what are some of the key policy debates impacting the economy?
The National Health Insurance Plan and land expropriation without compensation are highly contentious. The NHI raises concerns about funding and potential impacts on private healthcare savings. Land expropriation, while aiming to address historical inequalities, risks deterring investment and undermining property rights. Both issues are complex and lack easy solutions.
These are indeed sensitive issues with far-reaching consequences. How do these internal debates interact with the external pressures?
They exacerbate the challenges. Uncertainty surrounding these policies creates an environment of risk aversion, potentially discouraging both domestic and foreign investment. This further complicates the already difficult economic situation.
Despite the challenges, the report suggests opportunities for growth. What are some of the bright spots?
Even in a base case scenario where South Africa muddles through, there are opportunities for businesses that adapt and become less reliant on government support. This involves building resilience and finding ways to thrive despite unreliant infrastructure or unpredictable policies.
Can you give some examples of this kind of adaptation?
Off-grid energy solutions, decentralized finance platforms, and remote working technologies are examples. These allow businesses to operate effectively even when traditional systems fail, creating a degree of self-sufficiency.
It's about creating a parallel economy, almost?
Precisely. It's about adaptability and innovation, finding ways to work around the challenges rather than simply waiting for them to disappear.
Let's discuss the downside scenario. What are the potential risks if things worsen?
In a severe downturn, the government might resort to drastic measures to secure funds, potentially targeting private savings like pension funds and medical savings accounts. This is a significant risk that investors and businesses must consider.
So diversification is key in this environment?
Absolutely. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Spread your investments across different asset classes and geographies to mitigate risk.
And what about the upside scenario? What would a successful outcome look like?
A successful outcome would involve a significant influx of investment, the creation of new jobs, and transformative growth across the country. It would require a confluence of positive factors, including strong political will, effective reforms, and a degree of good fortune.
While optimistic, this scenario seems less likely given the current challenges.
It's the least likely scenario, requiring many things to go right simultaneously. It's not impossible, but it's a long shot.
What's the key takeaway from this report? What will ultimately determine South Africa's economic fate?
South Africa's success hinges on its internal actions, the reforms it undertakes, and the policies it implements. While global factors play a role, domestic policies are ultimately decisive.
So it's not just about riding global trends, but about taking control of their own destiny?
Exactly. Even in a globalized world, domestic policies remain crucial. The choices South Africa makes internally will determine whether it can harness its potential or succumb to its challenges.
This has been a comprehensive overview of the report's findings. What final thoughts do you have on South Africa's economic outlet?
The outlet is uncertain, but not hopeless. South Africa possesses significant strength, but must address its internal challenges effectively to unlock its full potential. The path forward requires careful navigation of both domestic and global pressures.
Thank you for this insightful discussion. It's clear that South Africa's economic future depends on a complex interplay of factors, requiring both strategic planning and a degree of resilience.